Did you start it over? Sweet. Thanks, Jason. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. How does everyone feel? Oh yeah, lively crowd. Really excited to be here. So I'm Stu Draper, at Stu_Draper on Twitter, because Stu Draper without the underscore sounds bad if it's read wrong. So I was a wrestler in high school. Decided I'd do it on basketball floors, wrestling match from door to door. And this guy should have been a wrestler. He's giving the guy a full-on crossface here. ICan'tHasCheeseburger.com is proof that if you're funny enough, you can make money online, because they don't do anything but be funny. It's pretty awesome, and they make tons of money. They're a millions of dollar company. Started by Ben Hunt. I got to hear him speak once. He talked about building a community, and people love funny pictures of cats. It's crazy how much more shares your blog posts get when they've got a cat in them. Just so you know. I was asked to do a required say what? Takeaway number one. Cats on monkey bars, dude. You get a cat falling off the monkey bars or something. That'll go viral for sure. Do it. My story. Is there anything else you guys want to know about me? Want to pick one or another one that we didn't talk about before? I don't know. Being poor. I hated being poor, and I'm still pretty poor. But when I was getting started with GetFoundFirst, if it hadn't been for Lindsay being willing to go on like nothing as a family, I wouldn't have been able to start GetFoundFirst. I'd had to give up and keep my wife happy. Happy wife, happy life. But bootstrapping a company requires being poor in the beginning. You have to be willing to live off hardly anything. And what we did was we managed apartments. That helped us a lot. Scouts, I loved to camp, but I hated Scouts. And then when I was going into my senior year of high school, I had a really cool leader that was like, hey, you're not that far up. You're already alive. You've been alive for like 3 years. Why don't you just get your eagle? Make it happen. Really lucky to have a mentor that kind of like took me by the side and helped me, because my parents weren't going to help me. They were sick of fighting me on it, and they figured if I was going to do it, it was going to be because I was an adult and decided to do it, not because they made me at that point. And so when I did my Eagle Scout project, I had to go pitch to the mayor of my city about what I was going to do, and they had to approve it and vote on it. City council had to vote on it, and here I am as a senior in high school with my Scout uniform on, and hopefully none of my friends saw it, type thing, right? But learned a lot from that experience. Those types of experiences as a young man made me a better man. Same with school leadership and church leadership. I was the activities director at my school, so all the assemblies I had to stand in front of the whole school, and had to help plan all the dances and call all the businesses that helped put all that stuff together. And that's great for a young person that's going to later be an entrepreneur, to have that stuff, that skill set. Anything else from that list you want to talk about real quick? eBay. Talked about that one earlier today, Dave. Just kidding. I'll share this quick story again, but I'm going to share it differently. First, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship. It's eBay and entrepreneurship here. I took entrepreneurship classes like 4 times while I was at BYU Idaho, because I loved it, and I loved that I could hear stories of other successful entrepreneurs. And every time I watched them speak, it gave me more confidence, because I'd listen to them and go, if that guy can get up there and do what he just and talk about it and have made millions like he did, then I can do it too, right? It gave me a super sense of confidence. And one of the classes of entrepreneurship that I took, they said, hey, look, go figure out how to sell something on eBay. That's going to be a great way to teach you entrepreneurship. If you can make money, buy something for less than you sell it for on eBay, then you get extra credit. And I had 2 sleeping bags lying around. Sold them on eBay for more money than I'd paid for them, and it was the first time I realized like you could make money online. And so all these little things here listed definitely helped me with my career and getting started as an entrepreneur. So GetFoundFirst has gotten to work with some really fun, cool clients. And as a company, these Choice Hotels brands, we have never worked, they haven't ever paid GetFoundFirst. I should mention that. I should have mentioned that earlier today. But Bryant, one of my partners, he lives in Arizona. He did all of their management for multiple years. They do millions a month in ad spend. So he's been able to manage a really large budget across lots of brands, across lots of individual properties across the country. And that's a really valuable skill set to bring to the table. I'm really glad to have Bryant on board. A game company. The Entertainment Software Rating Board is a nonprofit that does M for mature, E for everyone, those guys. We did their stuff. And Skee Bowl's on the list for Mount Hood, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. They do a really cool deal in March. I just saw after like March 8th for the rest of the ski season. It's $99. You can go whenever you want, night or day. And then at the end of the season, when the snow's melted and they don't have enough left, and they said they have like 5 feet, so it's like it's going to be a while. They said when it's done, it's 50% off all summer on their stuff. So if you want to go do their alpine slides or whatever, climb their walls, kind of cool. WebSense is the company that does the web security. They make sure that kids aren't getting on inappropriate porn sites at the library and stuff like that, right? That's those guys. Yeah, yeah, they block fantasy sports. that was a school, BYU, Idaho. Nice. And then why this should matter to you. There's just so much job potential for growth. If you're skilled, if you've been around the block and have experience in online marketing, everyone wants to hire you. And agencies like me fight so hard to keep our guys happy so they stick around. Because if you get skilled and you know what you're doing, people are going to be offering you more money. And that's why a lot of local Idaho companies have gotten cheap labor, is because they're willing to do the training on guys that don't have the skill set. But as soon as they get skilled and they don't afford to pay them more, they're gone, right? We're more careful about how we sign up our employees to work with us. This book is awesome. I totally recommend you guys read it. Risky is the New Safe with Randy Gage. The best jobs in 2018 haven't been invented yet. Just let your minds go wild thinking about that, right? Like in the year 2000, the driverless car that Google has now, self-driving cars, they didn't exist. No one was even talking about it yet, really. I mean, I guess we've been talking about the idea for millennia, but it's a brand new thing. And now there's people that get to sit in the Google car all day and drive around a parking lot while the car drives itself. I got to see that when I was down in San Jose. It was really cool. So if you haven't seen that blog post, it's kind of cool to check out. Do you guys ever check the ComScore report? It's pretty cool. It tells you how Google's doing against Microsoft and Yahoo, and tells you global search volume, 19 billion searches across search engines in general in the month of January 2013. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll change over time. Google's cracked down really hard on scrapers because scrapers have been fighting them so bad that that's causing lots of people to get lots of the spam filtering. I don't know, has that happened to you guys at all? Where you go to Google something and it lets you see the result, but it doesn't until after you've filled out a CAPTCHA. So annoying. And I think more people start seeing that, they'll find reasons to go there. If Windows 8 gains traction, which who knows if it really will, right? But if it does, or the next version of Windows, which is probably the one that really will gain traction, when that one takes off, Bing can grab some share there. That's how Bing has always had its share, is based on the people that are too lazy to figure out how to go change their browser to Chrome. Yeah, the defaults, right? Yeah, like anything that's scraping Google will start causing that. But if you, what's happened with us is we're on the same IP address in the whole office, and so everyone's searching. You're constantly, yeah, we look like a scraper, right? So there's an endless supply of online ad space. I didn't do a very good job of going through this slide earlier today. I'm kind of mad at myself.
What do you like though? There's Google, and then what's your next favorite for B2C?
Oh, Bing is awesome for B2C. Bing and Yahoo, that network is huge because a lot of the older generation that has money is there. And a lot of corporate guys have always been Microsoft guys. They've never changed. And they don't get why everyone's so into Google, but that's because whatever was default they used and they get used to it. And so a lot of those guys are still there. So there's a lot of, you can get a really decent return on your ad dollars. The thing is you can't get the volume. But the return on investment is definitely there for the small amount of traffic you can get.
Do you use anything like WordStream to push the same campaigns over so it's not painful?
We use Ad Center, and our guys are just quick. So, WordStream is a great tool, and that company has grown and is worth so much money now. WordStream's really taken off. That Larry Kim, he's got a good thing going. Better not repeat that in the microphone. Each of these guys have created their own demand, their own reason why they're a good place to advertise. I threw an LDS mingle, but there's just all sorts of dating sites out there. There's plenty of other places where you can advertise, some that are less appropriate, and that's another thing I wanted to mention earlier today, especially with the school and the church and everything. It's just, you gotta be careful you don't get too sleazy in this industry that can get really sleazy. But there's tons of different networks. One I wanted to point out, these Outbrain and Ad Marketplace. These guys, what they do is really cool, so go check them out. We're not, GetFoundFirst specifically hasn't done a lot of work with them, but content.ad as well is another one that you'll want to check out, where they're really good with the content network, and they're good with finding other places to get traffic. If you're already doing Google and you're already doing Bing, here's another place to go. So go check those out. Don't count Vimeo out either, by the way. Vimeo's got a pretty decent following. What I love about our industry is that it's on the move. It's never the same. It's always changing. Pretty sure Outbrain didn't exist when we started GetFoundFirst, from that last slide, just as one example. But it's ever changing. And one of the reasons that I am a huge advocate for agencies, besides the bias that I own an agency, right, is agencies are really good at figuring out the little nuanced details of how to win in a bidding war in ad space, right? How to outdo the competitors and pay less than them and get more clicks than them on the same budget. This graph here of the stock market is a good example of something that's constantly changing. People are in and out all the time. Well, on keywords, people come and go all the time. Their budget is only $30 a day, so their ad's going to show up till 10 in the morning and they're gone because they didn't do day parting and figure out that they really could have gotten better clicks from 9 to midnight, because people that buy their product buy at night or whatever it is, But love that about our industry. Did you guys hear this story about eBay on Harvard Business Review? Had you heard it already, Jason, before today?
Yeah, but you were the one that brought it up to me, because then I saw a new post that eBay, your ads suck.
Yeah, by Larry Kim,
Yeah.
the WordStream guy. Yeah. Cool. So we won't go through this much, but that's a cute picture of my boy, Beckham. Can't see it very well because of the lighting in here. He's just really chubby. But if you want to buy a baby, you can go to ebay.in because they've got a baby buy it cheap on eBay ad. Gotta love it, right?
Please get
Perpetual motion machines, love. I love that you can buy love on eBay. Buy it cheap on eBay. Cheap love.
and then you missed the looking for loneliness by here.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? So, if you're going to do dynamic keyword insertion, which is a great way for you guys to be able to scale a little bit and use uh, the same ad, duplicate your ads across different campaigns for different accounts. This is just a search pointing out, add your keywords here. Have you guys seen this before? Yeah, people, like, you'll see really big companies doing this. And then you'll see some people that it's like Google decides to show Portland heat pump expert jacobs-heating.com. Their ad says nothing about add your keywords here. In fact, not a single word in that search is shown in their ad, right? Is there a single one? No, there's not a single word of the four-string word. My search is set to be in Portland, so it makes sense that they're showing me Portland. That's the only thing I can think of. And but they're just wasting money, right? And it's because they hired a guy that doesn't know what he's doing, or they decided that some kid in-house that doesn't know it yet that's already been there for a long time said, "I'll figure it out. I got this $100 in free clicks," and next thing you know, here they are wasting money in silly ways. Trust me, if it's showing up for add your keywords here as a Google search, that ad is showing up a lot of other places it shouldn't. And they can figure it out. Exactly. Are you familiar with the C-Search Terms Report? So the C-Search Terms Report is a report that tells you these are the keywords that sent traffic to your site. And they're not the exact same keywords that you bid on initially. But because you had your keyword set as broad match, your ads can now show on a variety of other terms that are related, broadly related to the original keyword you bid on. And so you want to go look through that report because you're going to find bogus places where Google decided to show your ad, and you want to go and strike those out, negative them, and set negative keywords so that Google knows to never show your ad for those keywords.
For us, apparently, garage shelving and cabinets and overhead storage are all synonyms for each other. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. With you guys, it's really, I mean, your broad terms, storage and garage, and yours is really a garage storage system, right? It's like a specific racks and things like that. You got to be really careful. So broad and phrase, phrase and exact is huge for you guys. And a great tool for merging all that I like to use to concatenate is mergewords.com, if you don't know about that one already. Modified broads are a great friend. Even though I bet that still gets some crazy ones for you guys. Cool. You may want to go back and audit later and see if maybe some of your negatives are causing you to not show up places you could have. Over time, you may look over some or decide that one we were a little too careful in the beginning. Gotta love when your interns are the ones doing it. By the way, this is the most upper fold space you're going to see with organic showing. And it's 2 results out of the whole upper fold. Most times you're seeing just one on a laptop, my size laptop, which is I think 14-inch, 15-inch, something like that. So Google's done a really good job of figuring out how to make sure that your ad only shows up, that your organic only shows up after you've been buried by ads. They know where they make their money. You got to differentiate yourself from the competition. It's kind of a joke that I call this a pro tip, right? Like, did you go to Business 101 class your freshman year in college? Because you got to find some way to be different than the competition. But what happens is companies get really big and they look at what the other competition's doing and they say, it's working for them, so we should do it too. But really what you should do is say, what's working for them? How can we do what they're doing and then do it better? How can we one-up them? How can we be the guy that shows up higher on the page, or the guy that shows up lower on the page but has a better offer, or that has the right ad extensions that really get the clicks? Those improve click-through rates a lot. On PPC chat on Twitter this last week, they talked a lot about site links. And you can always go get the stream caps of PPC chat, where they reprint every single tweet that happened on PPC chat. And I highly recommend checking those out. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and Google has now blocked the phone number from actually showing up in the text. So you used to be able to, on the second line of the ad, put your phone number right there, so people could dial it. Nope, not anymore. Want bonus tips here, guys? Just really all this is, as far as bonus tips, is things like this. If you're not on Google Plus, get started. Don't wait, because the bigger this spread gets between 3,000 plus ones on Geico and 600 plus ones on insurance.com, the more legitimate Geico looks and the less legitimate auto insurance rates, or what is it, freaking insurance.com. So you just want to make sure that you're finding ways to differentiate yourself and building your following so that you look better. Anything you can do, getting your registered trademark on there, you look more legit than the next guy. Surprising that Geico doesn't worry about it. State Farm does. Geico's reason for not worrying about it may be they want that character for something else. You know, it's prime real estate, those characters, only so many of them. Don't ask me how they did that one, but that's awesome. I've never seen that one. Has anyone seen that? Parentheses?
Oregon residents only.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's called an offer.
Yeah, I don't know. They're doing geo-targeting right. I'm in Oregon. I didn't say that I was in Oregon, but I searched auto insurance rates. The browser knows I'm in Oregon, right? And Google gives me a result that says Oregon residents only. That, I think, is one way they're really helping themselves stand out. Another thing that really makes these guys stand out is the quotation marks. Another one where I'm like, you don't see that very often. I didn't even know you could use those symbols in your title. So check into that. This one. Oh, so you're saying this is really just the second line, and that's just, they get an extra line because they're in enhanced, they get the phone number in there as well. Ah. Even then, I've never seen where you could get away with parentheses in your ad before, so that might be something new with enhanced. And save the enhanced rants for later. I love the University of Phoenix example, but DeVry is sure doing a really good job of differentiating themselves and looking bigger and better than University of Phoenix right now with this screenshot, right? And this varies every time. You don't have total control over this, but be doing all of your site links. When you go create your campaigns and it takes a long time because you're trying to set up everything, connect it to the maps, connect it to the right phone numbers, all that stuff takes time, but don't forget to take time and set up your site links and set them up with a true goal in mind. What are we going to get from people that click the site link rather than clicking our ad? Pro tip, those site links, you can link to other places besides your website. Link it to your YouTube, you can link it to your Facebook, other places. Yeah, I learned that this week on PPC chat, so I'm really not the pro, someone else is. but I picked up on that quick, and you want to be careful because you don't get people too away from your end goal, right? If your ad and every ad you need to get return on investment and it's not about branding, then be in the right place. Okay? To send people to the right place where they're going to make money for you. But if you have time and you can take this route of, I mean, if you got the time and money to get people just in the learning phase, we'll go over that more later. But mhm. Here's how to make millions on Google, guys. Have a landing page like University of Phoenix landing page. Super simple. I searched for online universities, liked their ad, decided to click on it. I come through. They've got an opportunity for me to chat live now. By the way, this was like at 11 last night, so they're available 24/7 probably. Uh, and I'm sure actually online universities do really well at night. Day parting again being really important here, right? With your budget, these guys don't worry about it. They just spend whenever they can. They're crazy spenders online. But the 5-step process was the only thing about this landing page I wasn't a huge fan of. And testing the next step on this side of the field of the form versus this side could be great. You guys are all lead gen stuff, right? Are you guys using Unbounce? Dude, you're using the Google Analytics? Oh, Visual Website Optimizer. How's it going for you? Okay. Cool. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, and Unbounce gives you a subdomain, right?
Yeah.
Ours is on that same page.
So
So if anybody saves that page or anything, you're never going to lose that bookmark.
nice. So is it scalable where you can now go duplicate it on account after account? Like, can you go do like a new landing page for each individual site you're trying? You guys have like 44 dealers you're working on, right? Yeah.
Take months to get enough traffic to make it significant. So we have,
I
so,
see.
but on monkey bars on the homepage and things like that, yeah, we can do that all day long. We want to, and we have done so.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Good to know. I just advocate for what they're doing from the quick ability to see your statistical significance of success with it's awesome. So yeah, you can duplicate them over and over again and change out just the logo here, and but you can customize them too, and then save that template, your customized template, and I'll show you a couple examples
Yeah, so
in the
that's
slide
probably what
later.
you and Mike can just say, hey, when you come on with me, I already got some proven
Sure,
tried and
we have
true.
some things that we've already seen work and they work well. Yeah. But this is a fun slide. You got to take it with a huge grain of salt. What I did today, or last night, I tweeted over to Scott at Scott 5 cents with the Home Depot. He's their big SEO guy. And I sent him a link to this, and I said, Scott, can you vouch for how accurate this is? Because he would know the exact amount on a day-to-day what Home Depot's spending. He chose to just ignore me. Probably because he has to be really careful what he's divulging. Yeah. Uh, but SpyFu did respond, and they said it's accurate as to how often they show up and on the keywords they show up on. It's inaccurate regarding the amount because of uh, they have to do weighted averages of this keyword costs this much. And if they're on that keyword, that means they're spending that much to be there. And that's probably a little high or low, who knows. But Phoenix and Geico, they're the big spenders. big advertised budgets. PLAs are like a no-brainer for e-commerce sites. If you're not doing it, you're missing out big time. 28% of Google's 2012 fourth quarter clicks came from product listing ads. That traffic costs 22% less than traditional paid search ads. And there's just a million reasons why it's good to be doing. You want to do it right, and you need to get into Google Merchant Center, get your fingers dirty in there, play around a lot, and get good at it. Yeah. So here's an example. You have I've searched for wakeboards. The more reviews you can get, that's going to help you with your ad. Another thing that's great is getting your optimizing your title so that it fits. So I searched for wakeboards, and Overton's blew it here. They show me a boot, and I can't even read that it's just the boot that's for sale until I click through. Other than the fact that I can see there's no wakeboard with it, and the rest of them do. But I clicked through this Evo ad, which double real estate, right? All in the upper fold. I clicked that one, and it brings you through to a landing page that really sells that board. Gives me exactly what I saw in the thumbnail, and it shows reviews here as well. There's just it's beauty. They're winning. These guys are. Let me see if there's anything else I can tell you. You want to tie your ads. See this 127 centimeters? If someone's searching and their ad says wakeboards 127 cm, they're a lot closer to buying than the next guy who doesn't even know, that's just searching wakeboard, right? So you want to get your ads super granular and your ad group super granular so that if they're searching for that, you're getting really specific results to your end user. Is there anything else I can tell you about this stuff? Yeah, they choose to use liquid force at the beginning, and I would start the ad with wakeboard. But that may be because with product listing ads, and when you upload your file, you have no choice but to start with your with the name, the manufacturer name. Yeah. And they have step-by-step directions available in Google Merchant Center as to what your CSV has to have in order to upload it. Any other questions on this? Other than the fact that it's a little busy and that it kind of distracts you with this offer for something else, it's like, okay, I searched for wakeboards, I clicked this ad, I came through, what I wanted is exactly what I clicked on, and now you're telling me about this outlet where I might be able to go find a better deal. Am I going to stay here and go buy right now, or am I going to go look at that first? You know, who knows? But you want to keep it simple as you can. And the buy now button, add to shopping cart button should be in the upper fold, and as you can see here, it's not. So those are some things I'd recommend changing if I were them, testing at least. I do love the free shipping on orders over 50 bucks, lowest price guarantee right in the top left. Those are super strong. Hey, these are our value propositions, why you should come to us, not the next guy. Here's another value proposition over here right next to the price. This is a lowest price guarantee. You're not going to find this board for less than that. They got the reviews there. They're doing lots of things to make you trust them and believe that they can really perform and give you what you want. But screaming, this is where you go to actually make this purchase is the only thing I'd tell them they could do better. Top right has the phone number if they need to call. Well done. Overall, A+, and that's a killer board. The funnel's huge. Understanding the funnel and making sure that you're spending the most money on people that are entering your funnel here is where you want to be. Does that all make sense? Is there anything in that that you'd be like, well, wait, what's awareness or shop by?
Everybody always, I mean, we've seen some, but everybody always says product SKUs. What else? What other things are lower in the funnel than just product SKUs that you see?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, when they say they have buyer intent in their search, uh, like buy, for sale, those types of things. Whereas if they're saying rating, reviews, they're in the learn, awareness, interest, one of those funnels, right? They're not as low down into shop and buy. But there's blog posts that you can find with like buyer intent keyword ideas, like whole lists where they've already gone out. I wish I had one as an example for you. So that's a great question. But buyer intent is one of those things that you want to spend the most money on those guys because they're ready to come in and leave you with money on the way out. So remarketing is such a no-brainer, guys. You got to do it. You're missing out on people, not because they weren't interested, but because they weren't ready to buy right when they came through the first time. And so now they've left you. It's been 3 weeks, and they're going, I can't remember the name of that website where I could get those baseball cleats. So I'm just going to go to Google and search for baseball cleats again. And if I don't see your ad this next time, I'm going to go to whatever ads I see and buy whatever go off of whatever offers there. So that's really important to consider. It takes more than once before people make a purchase, even on little things like cleats that cost $110 or whatever. Lower cost per acquisition. That's kind of arguable, right? It's a lower cost per acquisition in that from that one ad in the remarketing ad where they finally come through and buy, it's lower. But overall, you paid for them to come back to your site. Yeah, it's been like 2 or 3 times they've been to your site now. But if they're coming back again, are they more likely to buy? Yes. Worth it? Yes. Especially because of this initial piece of information I gave you here. 28% of Google's entire fourth quarter clicks came from, oh, that's different. Sorry. Never mind. I was thinking that the remarketing ads were the ones that had that, were such a high percentage of the revenue. I don't know that number. It'd be good to go Google that one and see what the number is as far as how much of Google's revenue is coming from remarketing ads now. Here are a couple remarketing tools, AdRoll and Criteo. These are awesome tools, best for B2C, not as good for B2B. But they have their place in B2B too. Entrepreneurs on, like if you're selling a franchise style deal, entrepreneurs are on Facebook all the same as the next guy. And if they've said that they like Entrepreneur Magazine and they like this or that, you want to go find those guys on Facebook. And then if they don't buy the first time, doesn't mean it's a big purchase. It's a big decision to go buy a business, right? It's going to take multiple touches. Remarketing, again, is a great thing to do in that case. And AdRoll dominates the world of remarketing on Facebook. They're part of the Facebook ad exchange. There's like 8 companies that are a part of it. It might be more than that now. We use the Google Display Network. AdRoll is just a great one if you're leaving the display network because the display network isn't tied into Facebook. So AdRoll's great for getting in there. Just don't be creepy with your retargeting. I love this. It works for them because I know what retargeting is, and I've been to their site and I know exactly what they're all about. So it works for them to say we're retargeting you. But if you're like a company that sells, say, lingerie, right? You sell lingerie, and then you say, hey, you've been on my site before, and it just doesn't work. It gets creepy. So you got to be careful there, right? analyze to improve. Call tracking is a must for local businesses that are doing online advertising.
Can you tell me why my next customer, what's different between them and CallRail? I mean, we've used CallRail and Mongoose, but
Cool. Are you happy with CallRail?
we can't seem to get it down to the keyword level every time. It seems to drop some of them, so we don't know why. We have a bank with
Mm-hmm.
8 numbers, so not that bad for a small site that never gets more than 8 people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to figure that out right now.
Cool.
But
Do you ever
price is
listen
good.
on the calls?
Yeah,
Aren't they funny?
they are funny. Just saying. One of my
All
favorite.
day?
We have a guy that screens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so because we bill on the per lead basis, so we can't bill them on a sales call, so we gotta listen to it.
We let the dealers, we give them the recordings too, just so personal training. It's pretty funny when they call us up and they're like, wow, I sound horrible.
Yeah, it's really healthy for them to hear themselves and learn. They've got
Customer
a,
service is great.
yeah.
One of the funniest stories was a dealer gets a call from a guy he was going to do an estimate with, and then the guy's like, "Yeah, I can't have you come over anymore because my wife came home with a $2,000 Christmas tree, so I guess I'm not gonna get that garage done." So we're like, "Oh man, there's some crazy stuff."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my next customer, one thing that's cool about it is it puts together some really cool reports all in one place that says this is how well your yellow page ad did, this is how well your SEO did, this is how well your ads here online did versus these ads there, all in one place in a cool report. So you can track your return on investment on your yellow page ad versus your that's offline versus your other stuff that's online. Pretty cool. A lot more expensive than CallRail and buggy, but they all are. You just gotta get proper attribution because the mo better, the better your attribution is, the better off you're going to be spending your money. You're going to get smarter with it and get higher returns for your client or your boss. Landing page optimization. We gave old Dave Meyer a shout out earlier today for these designs he did. Did great work for us. This one got featured on Unbounce, this one on top. But we've done lots of different ones here and here. But you can totally design them, make them your own, and then duplicate them and test different things. I love the the color of the button test is a great one. You gotta have big volume to really know with that. Testing your headlines is huge. Testing pricing is another really good one from a top level business idea perspective. Are we pricing ourselves the right way, or can we adjust our price up and see the same results? I have a client that saw a huge increase in conversion rate just because of the new landing page we built for them. The Google Website Optimizer, I shed a tear every time I say that because it's gone. It's now called Content Experiments, all part of analytics. It's nice to be able to go in one place rather than have a separate place, right? But definitely does those things for you. Most importantly, this one for me. I have my ideas of what's best for design of a website, and I like to get started with what I feel is already the best from what I know from best practices over years of doing it. But every client in every industry is different, and what works for one guy doesn't work for the next guy. The advertorials example I gave earlier today is one where I would never tell anyone that landing page they have is a good one. But it works for them. They've been doing it for years, spending a lot of money doing it. So it's back to the basics, guys. What I mean by that is that it's not 100% rocket science. Any Joe, and one of the reasons that there's lots of PPC agencies out there and other internet marketing agencies out there is because it's not rocket science. Anyone can get in and get started. The problem is it's not just what you know, it's what you do with what you know, right? You got to actually go in and take action and follow through on everything. And Like these basic things that, I've heard and talked about since the day I started online marketing still apply, but you look at ads across the web and they just don't do all these things. They do a terrible job of staying relevant to what the keyword search is, especially the big volume accounts. The guys that are big spenders get really bad, really sloppy. They don't stay granular, probably because it's not super scalable, but they could do a better job and be more organized. Landing pages get irrelevant. The value propositions is one that I'd say companies are really good at for the most part. They've done a good job of saying, this is why we're different and why we're here, and that's how they're making money and able to spend it online. But playing the numbers game is huge. You got to test and test again. This is me. So we're done. But before we quit, yeah. Sure, that's good. It's fine. Jay doesn't get to see the advertorials. He misses those. Here, wait. Let's just show them the advertorials while they're up. So you see these ads at the bottom of like a Forbes article, or they're really ugly, right? Usually it's a lady in a bikini looking out onto the ocean. That's this one. It changes every once in a while. This cruise line tests different things. But this is where you always go, is the same article that people have read 5 or 6 times if they've clicked on it over the last 4 years, because it didn't change. Basically says the same thing. It's an article turned into an advertorial. By the way, retargeting myself here, that's one of our clients. But that hyperlink kicks you over to this ugly landing page, right? Hideous. They do a really good job of saying, look, this is what we want you to do. Give us your information here, and then we're going to drip email you till you go on one of our cruises. Yeah, the design really does kind of say, I can't trust you, but Vacations to Go has been around a long time, and they've been doing it for a long time, so it must be working for them. Advertorial. HowLifeWorks.com.
So it's almost like they needed a website to like open you up to the idea that there are cool hidden secrets out there, and then you go, and then it looks like crap. So that's probably why it's a hidden secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have their reasons why it works for them. No, you can buy those through these networks, like content.ad, Outbrain, those styles. Check those guys out, and you can buy them from there. So that's me, guys. I think that's a wrap. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So the numbers game is huge, and it's how you'll get. Wow, it's snowing hard out there. Check that out. That's how you're going to get your boss on board, is proving that if we can get these numbers, we're going to get these results. And you be really conservative on your guesses. And if you can still prove good results off conservative numbers, you can go to your boss with a lot of confidence and say, this is what we need to do. And there's nothing rocket science about this, right? You got a budget of $10,000, and the average cost per click is $1. You're going to get 10,000 people to your site, and you're going to have a conversion rate of 5%, so my math doesn't get too off here. 10% would be 1,000. So you're going to get 500 sales or leads off of a $10,000 budget. That's $1 a click with a 5% conversion rate. So you got to do this over and over again, all the time, looking at different variables and things that change it. And your average cost per click here varies a lot based on the keywords you're on. But if you've got history and you can already say, look, we're spending this much, you're ready to go, because then you can almost guarantee what this average cost per click is going to be, and then filter it out and get your end number. This is really basic, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. But so many people just go spend the money without taking time to figure out about what they're going to see. And they don't optimize to hit a goal of a certain conversion rate. So you got to look at what your current conversion rate is and say, okay, if I can't get my conversion rate higher, how am I going to lower my cost per click to make more money on these few leads we get, or vice versa? If I can't lower this, but I can get my conversion rate up to 10, then it's worth it to go spend money on a landing page and optimize it.
Yeah, and then we pair that with the call data and the emails and everything come in, and then we have our dealers tell us what was sold and for how much.
Mm-hmm.
So then we can say to SEO, your ROI is this, your cost is this percent sell.
Awesome.
That's the only thing I felt that has empowered us. Without that, I feel like we're not empowered.
Yeah. Is that report something that you can automate, or is it? Yeah, that's super time-consuming stuff, but it's worth it, because in the end you're going to be able to help your client spend more and make more, because you showed them that it's working and that there's return there. Yep. And then don't get in this funnel of all I can use is Google and the Bing Yahoo network. There are so many other places that people are spending time online. The nice thing about these places, Google and Bing, is those people are already searching for exactly what you want. You know that. But they're just not going to, this is just going to stagnate on you. You'll hit a certain point where that's all the more you're going to get out of it. You got to go look for new places to spend your money. And there's lots of second tier, third tier search networks, and there's lots of places where you can do content network stuff. So do that too. Don't forget that just text ads can work in the content network, even if you don't have good, well-designed banner ads. Because it's the display network, not the content network. The banner ads are going to do the best, but even if you don't have those, get some text ads going and remarket. Do it. On Facebook, we do just our own advertising. We haven't gotten to use AdRoll or Criteo yet. I've heard really good reviews on Criteo, and I know I've met the guys that are at AdRoll. But the nice thing about AdRoll is you can do a free trial, and you don't have to have a big spend to get started. You can start with $10. So it's not going to get you anywhere, but they'll let you start with nothing, basically. And then if you want to customize it and set it up so that if they saw your black high heel on this website, now they go to Facebook and they're going to see that exact black high heel again. Like, that costs more money to get set up. But if you're just showing them an ad that invites them back to your site, that's where it's free to get started. It's like $2,000 to set that other stuff up, though. It's expensive. Gotta have a decent budget. But over time, the local stuff will get more help, and more stuff will come in at a cheaper price. The local guys with a small budget can afford. But everything like AdRoll and stuff, they gotta start out by going after the big fish, because that's where the most money is for the least amount of work. The smaller fish are the last ones to get help, because there's so much work for so much little extra money. One more reason why GetFoundFirst is after the big pay-per-click budgets. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, what time is it? Hammer time. Oh, it's time to go, guys. 7:37. Sorry, I didn't. You should have told me. Shut up a while ago.